It was being with our friends, getting to know the leaders so much more, getting to know you and Aden, David, and Wade. I talked to Wade about it. He said that it would change my life. He was not wrong.
I went to beach camp 2 years ago. I went to Lubbock last year. And both of those were great. Like, I got to have a lot of time spent with God, but also, like, I grew in friendship with a lot of my boys. And that was really cool to see them grow and to grow with them. But this camp was drastically different than that. Like, I spent zero amount of time with them. I spent a lot of time, like, alone.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Hi, David. I'm good. How are you?
Introduce yourself.
Oh, my name's Aden. I'm a graduated senior, so I'm going to UTSA next year.
My name's Jackson. I also graduated, and I'm taking a gap year.
Gap year. Well, obviously you know who I am. This is Aden.
This is your boy, Aden Lindley, returning,
Hey, no.
not as a, what would you call them?
Guest.
A guest, but as a host.
As a
This
host.
time.
This is actually your third time on the podcast.
It is, yeah, it is my third time. I made a special appearance with Aden Price
That's right. Yeah.
initially.
During Aiden's episode, you guys are still living together at the residency house, and you walked in and jumped in,
That's right.
and then you were requested by the people.
By the people. Man, blessed and highly favored. Blessed and highly favored.
Well, I wanted to bring on some of our CBC student alumni. And so this is just one of many episodes that we placed in one because I could not get all these kids together. I mean, I can tell you that I've been trying to get some of these students together for over a year and it just never happened. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a couple at a time. So today we have Aden and Jackson, who I am so incredibly blessed to know. And I'm so proud of both of you guys. And I'm so excited that you guys are both here to talk about a little bit about your CBC experience. We'll bring up some camp stories, maybe some CG stories, I don't know, and whatever else that comes up. So this is a disclaimer that anything can happen in this episode. This is not a typical life stories podcast style, but the people know I talk about CBC students a lot. So I thought it would be so awesome to introduce you to the people. So thank you so much. And of course, we have Aden, who is also on staff at CBC. And I thought, since he was here, and why not bring him in and we'll do it again with Cooper and Zayden.
No, I'm excited for this. Like, genuinely working with CBC students, like, we have the best students. Like, I can say that with confidence. But not only that is, like, they have so many things to share. And what's really encouraging to me is a lot of them have been saved in the last, like, couple years. And so I'm thinking, like, man, 5-10 years down the road, like, what are these guys going to go do? Like, the potential is just, like, limitless because they're not like babies in their faith, but a lot of them have only been saved for a couple years, and I've already seen things that they've been able to do. And so, man, I can't wait for these guys to go to college and make an impact, and I think it's going to be incredible just to talk with them for a while.
Yeah. So. We also have Michaela, and we have our live audience again, and the dog, and Chloe. The purpose of this conversation is just to get a little bit of your experience with CBC students, just because I hop on that a lot, and I think it'd be good for anybody to hear about what happens in our student ministry at CBC, and that you guys are now adults and we can get you on this thing and talk about it. So one at a time, just real quick, talk about how, Jackson, that you got the mic, and go first. Just like how you started, how did you find out about CBC students? How long have you been going? And just a little quick experience summary.
Adan told me about it. I had known about CBC before because my dad used to play there, but Adan really was the one that brought me and Hudson both. I didn't really care for it at the beginning. Hudson did. It was until I met Caleb and the Adens is when I started to care about it, and then I just haven't stopped going since.
Yeah,
can confirm.
Yeah, well, I honestly met them. I had just gotten to know you too when I went to their basketball game.
Yeah, that was I remember we went to. It was one of my first weeks down here. I don't know if you know this. I had just gotten down here because this was what, February that we came to that basketball game? Maybe January. And Pastor Caleb, he says, "Hey, Aiden, we're gonna go to a basketball game. Do you want to come with?" And it was Aden, Hudson, and Jackson. And man, yeah, I feel like we really connected just from that initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, all three incredible dudes. But I got to watch them play basketball, and that was a thriller. You remember that game?
Yeah, I do. They were winning for the majority of the game, and then I don't know what happened.
Hmm.
The refs suck.
It's
Yeah.
always the ref.
It is. It was.
Yeah.
There
I
was a
actually got
second on the
pictures of that
clock.
game still in my
I'm
phone.
not gonna talk about it. I get pretty mad about it. Yeah, it was my last game.
So-
That's right. It was the last
Yeah.
game. Hudson was really upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so one other detail that should be noted is that now that Jackson has graduated, me and him did play 2-on-2 versus Hudson and Adon, and
We
we
did win.
we did handle business pretty easily.
carried.
So they called us the Unks.
Yeah. I got called that at school. I don't know if you did. Oh. I was the oldest in my class, so
5.
like 40. Yeah.
By the way, Jackson's graduation was the fastest of all the graduations this
It
year.
was like 15 minutes long.
It was
God.
amazing. But they started calling names, and I was like,
Great hearts.
Great Hearts, Mona Vista, love it. Awesome. Well, let's give the mic to Aiden, and then same question, same.
Okay. So I grew up going to CBC. My parents they were going when Pastor Emmett was there, and so I went as long as I can remember. I guess like 18 years now. But I personally didn't start going to students until I was invited to summer camp 2 years ago at beach camp. And at the time, technically, I was officially like saved, but because I gave my life when I was in like 3rd grade. But I didn't know what that meant, right? So technically, yes, I was going to heaven, but I wasn't living like it. And so I had a really good like eye-opening experience during summer camp 2 years ago whenever I like finally understood who Jesus is, like how I'm called to serve, and just like what my role on this earth truly is. And so ever since then, that's when I truly started to pursue students and just learning more about Christ and my role as a disciple and just all of that. So yeah, I mean, I love anything that I can get my hands on in like serving or students or anything. So yeah, I mean, you get to meet a lot of great people, and I was kind of worried about leaving students this year. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna miss midweek, but Common Ground can fill those shoes really well. So shout out Common Ground also. But yeah, that's my story.
That's awesome. Any Aiden stories? Just I can tell you that when I met you, at not common ground, community group.
Mm.
Yeah.
Shout out CGs. Yeah,
Shout out to the Pollard CG.
disagree.
We're just gonna keep moving on.
I just thought it was awesome that there was now not only one Aiden, not two Aidens, three Aidens.
Yeah.
Plus an Adon. So
Wait.
there's three Aidens and an Adon.
Not even gonna
So
lie.
you like moved in like January.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I started going to CG and like I started really going to students. Like I was in and out for like 2 years, but I started really going like February. That's when I started to go to community groups and then consistently being at midweek. So yeah,
So you
February
were
around time was three Aidens, yeah.
so you were in and out on and out of students, whatever it may be, midweek or community groups. What caused you to actually plug in wholeheartedly?
Community for sure. I had been to a community group like 2 years ago after the first summer camp that I went to. I got invited to a community group, but unfortunately, it was a house party, and like I mean, party was fine. I got to meet some cool people, but I didn't know what a community group was supposed to be because I went to a house party. I'm like, Sunday nights I'd rather do my homework and just sleep than to go out and hang out with some people, especially because I didn't know the people that well. And that's no hate to like anything. Like house parties are great, but for me personally, like I'm an introvert, And at the time of my life, I was like, no thanks, you know. And then I truly went to a community group, the Pollard CG. It was like 2 weeks after one weekend or something like that, or the week after one weekend, which is like February something. And that was great. And it was really just awesome. Meeting a lot of like truly dedicated people, like just really pouring into, like ready to worship the Lord and just do anything that he calls us to do. And then in addition to that, having such good leaders that are pouring into us, like that was what truly like started to spark a fire. Because originally I was living the life of like a lonely Christian. Like I'm like, I can just worship the Lord and just honor him with what I do by myself and just be like a undercover Christian. But whenever I finally found community, that was whenever I was like, that's not what we're called to do.
That's good. And then you brought Travis along with you.
Well, Alex invited us, so we went together.
That's right. Okay, so wait, hold on. You said you went after one weekend, this most recent one weekend, correct?
Correct.
So I don't think that's correct because I have a picture with you and Travis.
Okay, it was in the same time.
Yeah. It had to have been like the week
It might have
or
been the week
two before.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I've been using as my landmark, and I'm pretty sure it's
yeah. And then so anything to that? Um, what would be like okay? So talk about one weekend. Because it was kind of new with you guys too.
Yeah.
You guys were in our group, in mine and Wade group, Wade and I's group.
Yeah. One weekend was basically just like a prep for camp. It's like a small, like 2-day thing, just getting you ready for camp, which was even better.
Jackson, something that you said earlier, about one weekend being like a preview to camp. I remember having a conversation with you about if you were even going to go to camp or not.
Yep, that's right.
And I want to hear kind of like what your thought process behind that was and how God worked in your life, because there was a point where you probably weren't going to go, and then I was there firsthand for everything God did in your life at camp. And so what was that like of deciding to go to camp and then actually going?
Really, it was a lot of praying about it because there was this other thing that me and Hudson could have done with our friend Jack. It was something that we could make money off of, so that was a plus for us. But then really God called us to CBC camp, which changed it for us, especially being in David and Wade's group. Really, it was being with our friends, getting to know the leaders so much more, getting to know you and Aden, David and Wade. I talked to Wade about it. He said that it would change my life. He was not wrong. Yeah, really, it was just all that.
Yeah.
Was this your first camp? Yeah, it was my first like actual camp that I've been to.
I want to say something about that particular. I know you're kind of headed with that. It was a small group. I call it our last night. It was like the second night or something like that.
Oh, it was deep.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna get into the details of that, but I mean, I just knew what was being shared, and I just want to say you personally, like I was so proud of you, and I know you and Hudson too. Like I know, like Aden kind of like opened up the door, and then it just kind of spread, and then I remember you and I had just had our episode and with your testimony, which was with when I just knew I was like God, and actually Aiden Price had texted me. And he said, "Hey, we're going over to your room. Is everybody there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but like, okay, we're having a really deep small group. Don't mess it up." And he came in and sat, and then things were being shared, and I knew that you could relate to some of that. And I was praying, like, God, please do what you do, like. And then I see Aiden Lindley's head popping up the stairs, and I'm like, thank God. And so you jumped in, and I can thank you so much for even pouring into that as well. I mean, you guys were just bawling, and I think even us as leaders, I was bawling as well. And then the most powerful thing in these small groups is that everybody's dealing with the same thing. And once you start talking about it is truly when the change can happen too, and hold each other accountable. Even in the text messages, that's still being going on. Like I'm reading these text messages that you guys are sending, and I'm just like, it's so encouraging to kind of see and let you guys like minister to each other.
What was really cool about that from my perspective was, so we do cabin checks every night at camp, and Aiden Price was assigned to your cabin, and so that's why he texted
Yeah.
you and said, "Hey, I'm coming over." But I was not assigned to their cabin, and I was out doing another cabin kind of nearby, and I can't explain it other than the Lord just being like, "Go to their cabin," and I was like, "What?" And so this is like true story. Like I literally was walking to this one cabin doing the cabin check, and they're like, "Go to Wade and David's cabin." And I said, okay. And I walk upstairs and I see like Aiden Price sitting there and I see all you guys. And I just remember being like, what is going on up here? Like, what is going on? And it was so much related to my testimony and things that I had gone through that it wasn't anything I could have done, but God placed me in that moment to be able to share something with the next group of people that needed to hear it. And so it was just a beautiful thing. The Lord just working in that, or even David being like, God, please just let Aiden show up. Like that's so crazy. But then it actually happened.
Yeah.
And it was that was just a cool God story from camp for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. It just kept on getting deeper after that.
It did. I mean, I don't think
Stayed
we
up
got
until
done.
like
Yeah.
2:30 every night.
Yes. I mean, there were different reasons for staying up that late, but that particular night, it was all ministry. Like I just remember like looking at the clock last, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like 2:30 in the morning, and we're still going. Like all the other cabins are whatever they're doing, or asleep or acting crazy, but we are like seriously like that same spirit we had at the altar at that service carried over, and I was just so blessed to be able to be in y'all's group and witness that. I mean, it was life changing for me. Even
We got done so late that night that Pastor Brenton had drove a golf cart out to drop us off to do room checks, and I got back and he was sleeping on the golf cart. I walked up to the golf cart and he was just cashed out.
unfortunately, Aiden was not in my group, but I know you guys had some experiences.
So we didn't request it yet. You didn't know
We didn't request anyone for camp. So yeah, but you had your
We actually were
you
maxed
had yours
out.
full, so yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Shout out Jacob, and Hayden though they were awesome, and Sam. I think
I was gonna say Sam was with
Mhm.
Hayden. Yeah,
Sam was great. Yeah, we had a good group though. Actually, I had my call to ministry during high school camp this year, cause
that's awesome.
cause I I did I did middle school camp prior to that, and just the discovering like my heart to serve, and just finding my calling through that was really cool. Because that was my first time doing ministry like that, and definitely high school camp confirmed that. And yeah,
But you served in middle school camp
I did.
before.
No, just this year.
But no, I'm saying before high school
Prior
camp.
to, yes,
Yeah.
correct. That it was a lot of things connected, and high school camp was that answered prayer. So yeah, tying up a lot of loose ends and just affirming, kind of what I've always felt, but affirming it truly, and like, you like just hearing God like truly be like, yeah, what you've been thinking and what you know you should do is what you need to do, you know. And so that was really cool. But this camp was very different because I went to beach camp 2 years ago. I went to Lubbock last year, and both of those were great. Like I got to have a lot of time spent with God, but also like I grew in friendship with a lot of my boys, and that was really cool. To see them grow and to grow with them. But this camp was drastically different than that. Like I spent zero amount of time with them. Like I spent a lot of time like alone, and it was weird. And like I couldn't find myself having fun. And I told Mac about this. Like the most fun I had during camp at high school camp was when I was cleaning up tables and setting food. And so then I was like, wait a second, like this is weird. Like why do I have more
I don't
fun?
even do this at home.
Why do I have more fun serving like tables than I do at like Squad Wars? And so yeah, I don't know. I found my call to ministry at high school camp this year, which was crazy. But yeah.
Yeah. So what would you guys say to the seniors or the group that are going into senior year and CBC students? Like what advice would you give them?
What advice would we give them? For what? For anything?
For the season of being a Christian senior.
Jackson just said go to every midweek.
He
But
did.
He didn't have the mic on.
Yeah, midweek helped me a lot because I hated school, especially last year, because I had to do this thing called thesis. It's where you gotta write 15 pages for an essay and then like talk about it after. Worst thing ever. But midweek gave me like a time to just spend with God and refresh. Yeah. Same with CGs, and I wasn't going to Sundays by then. It
Mm-mm.
was really the summer when I started going to Sundays. But yeah, midweek definitely helped me. Same with CGs.
Yeah, I can affirm that. It was really funny. Me and Travis, we created this dynamic on accident, but it just became a thing. We had CGs on Sunday, and then we obviously had church on Sunday, but up until that point, we had Monday and Tuesday where we had nothing, right? And so Monday and Tuesday were like the worst days at school, just because we were like, man, we just gotta get through. We gotta get through this day, and then we gotta get through this day, and then Wednesday we are like, okay, now we got to go to midweek, and then Thursday we had a Bible study that we did with Young Life, and so we just knew like if we can get to Wednesday, like not like in a horrible sense, but we were just like, dude, like going to school, like this is so boring compared to what we want to be doing. What we want to go to midweek. We want to see our community friends at CBC, you know. And so yeah, we always had this like this inside joke, like, all right, we just gotta get to Wednesday and then we can have fun again. Like we were joking about it, but yeah, it was really cool. Just to like focus on that and just being able to look forward to that, especially in like being surrounded by so much like secular anything, like literally like because of how school is nowadays, like you can't even like say the word Jesus in school, otherwise people are gonna get offended, you know. And so just like stuff like that, it's really hard to be yourself as a child of God in that type of sense. And so that was definitely something I had to wrestle with. um I would say for me, one thing that I also struggled with is that I would substitute like going to those type of things is great. It really is, but you also have to realize that pursuing a relationship with God is going to require a lot of effort that you have to be disciplined and you have to put time into. And just going to midweek and going to CGs is not building that relationship with God. That might fill you up, but in the long run, that's not how you're supposed to fill yourself up, right? You're supposed to continue to pursue God, and then that overflow is what you want to have surrounding you whenever you're going to those events, because then you'll be able to pour into more people. And if you're lacking that, then that's hard. And that was definitely something that I had to wrestle with. And something that I learned is that those events are not necessary. I guess they're great, but the true root of it all is like your relationship with God. That's what I would say.
That's good. Anything else?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would just affirm that last thing you said about midweeks and CGs and all the things, because those are very much I would call them like supplemental to a growing and deepening faith in Jesus, but they can't be your foundation. They should add to your faith, but they should not be the foundation of your faith. The foundation of your faith has to be Christ and Christ alone. And that looks like being in the Word. That looks like prayer, right? How, if I have a friendship with any of you, it requires talking, listening, and time. If the only time you spend with the Lord is on a Wednesday night and a Sunday, and it's with other people, what would that say about your relationship with God? Like, if the only time I hung out with Jackson was in a group setting and we wanted to be best friends, we wouldn't be best friends, right? If we never texted, if we never talked. And so it's the same thing with the Lord, is like those things have to be number one, because that's what makes up a relationship, is that communication. And so, yeah, I think, bro, you hit the nail on the head for sure. Of midweeks are so important. Corporate worship is so important. Coming together as followers of Jesus, right? In Matthew 18, it says, where 2 or 3 are gathered, there I am with them. And so there is power in community. There is freedom in community. It just can't be, like, hear me, it is necessary. It's absolutely necessary on top of your personal relationship with the Lord. And so I thought that was really good what you said about that.
Yeah. And I think both of you guys are called to ministry. I've seen you guys lead. It just, I mean, I didn't get to see you in middle school, and then obviously you also served with preteen hang.
Preteen Hang was a movie.
A movie?
Preaching hang with fire.
Explain that, sir.
Cosmic dodgeball.
Well, Jackson and I had dinner. I took him to dinner for graduation. I took I took you and Travis to Texas Roadhouse. Me and Jackson went to Torches Tacos. And we had a conversation about preaching hang, and it's some work being a leader. But I didn't do preaching hang, but I've heard stories. Um, it. Do you want to talk about? No, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, nothing crazy. I would just say like, I guess I have one story in particular. The students were just getting on my nerves a little bit, right? Like I work in student ministry, and so I've seen it all. But these kids, man, they were rambunctious. They were dumping water on people. They were doing all types of things. And so, anyways, we get in the cosmic dodgeball the last day, and so one of the games is, yeah, you turn all the lights off and you have glow in the dark dodgeballs. And well, they ended up doing a leader versus student round, and this is hear me. This is not my finest moment. I was not living the James 119 that we should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. I was a little bit quick to anger in that moment. And so kids were hurling dodgeballs at me, and I just had no thought that went through my brain that was like, oh, I shouldn't just absolutely beam a kid with a dodgeball. And so, yeah, I like fully wound up, full speed through, and I hit a kid. Not even one of my kids, like nothing. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just like kind of midway up the pack on the other side, and I hit him right in the face, and he just like dropped like a big like sack of potatoes, bro. Like he just plopped on the floor, and I don't think I knocked him out, but
Dodgeball?
but
Plus dodgeball.
the leaders came up to me and they were like, "Hey, like kids are getting hurt." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's terrible."
Yeah, Andrew came up to me.
Yeah, but it was me, and I felt bad, you know. But that was really fun, and the kid was okay. He was.
Yeah, Andrew came up to me and told us that kids are getting hurt, that we need to step out.
Yeah.
Because we would just go in through all the rounds instead of just the leader one.
I stepped out after I hit that kid. I felt so bad.
Oh no, I kept going.
He's like,
He doubled.
I wanted more. I was thirsty for more.
I hit like 4 kids in the head.
They're the perfect height, bro. I swear.
I played baseball, so I'm.
No, it is perfect because like, yeah, right where someone else's like stomach would be or their chest where you're aiming is it's just their head. You know.
I'll say watching you, Jackson, in particular, leading even like somebody like Hunter.
I love Hunter.
Yeah.
No, sadly, I wish he was there.
I
played Fortnite with Hunter.
Well, yes, and even at that, but just that he looks up to you is a leader. Like I know you're gonna go into middle school. Is that a thing? Or you are going to middle school, correct?
I still need to talk to Caleb about it.
Okay, but going into this next season from graduating high school and to go into ministry, whether it be middle school or high school, I'm not sure. But like these kids look up to you already. And I can only just imagine like where it's gonna go from there. Even you, Aden, working in middle school as well. I know you made an impact on that. And actually, it's crazy because coming from middle school camp to be a leader and to pour into people, and then to go into your last year of high school camp to be a student. And he said it was really weird. He did have the mic, but but I mean, there was a moment where it was one of the worship sessions outside, and I was just kind of panning the amphitheater, and I saw all your boys. I saw Travis and Sean and Alex, and I specifically did not see you, and I kept panning, and you were like off on your own, and that's something that stuck out to me too, because I think I mentioned this to you in the last time that we spoke, is that how you separated yourself, because you went for the purpose of knowing Jesus. And I think it's easy to go to camp with friends, to hang out with your friends, and that's like a side effect, but for you to purposely have a goal of meeting Jesus at this camp, it's just impressive for high school kids I mean, there's adults that don't even pursue Jesus like that. And it's really encouraging to see this next generation going up. And I see it a lot on social media that there's a generation rising up. And I think, you guys are right in the middle of that. I mean, even just our last city nights, seeing you guys worship. I mean, just the entire room was just phenomenal worship like that. And I grew up in youth group, and I've never seen anything. I've never seen anything like I saw at camp this year. So it's super encouraging as an adult to see that. A little bit on a lighter note, funniest moment at camp.
I'm serious when I tell you, camp was. I struggled to have fun at camp. I was so locked
Except
in.
when you were waiting.
I was so locked in. Honestly,
red team losing.
This is shots fired. This is not a very how do I explain this? This is not a proud moment for me. Probably funniest moment at camp. This was the last. This was the last day that I was gonna be at camp because I left early for Hawaii, but it was during the last thing of Squad Wars, during the bike thing, and like people were trying to do chants, but red team was not. No one was doing anything. No one was getting hype. So I started screaming and yelling at everyone, and no one got hype. And I was like, "Bro, y'all are so lame." And then I just sat on my butt. So that was I don't know. I didn't really have a super funny moment, honestly, but
And people wonder why red team went from first to third.
we deserved it.
Mm.
Red team's trash. Don't tell Molly. We love red team.
Jackson
But
and I
we
were
didn't
blue
earn it.
If
team.
Molly, not to name drop, but if
Red
Molly
team was
Bentley's
great.
watching this,
Red team was great.
She
We had great leaders.
she did mention it in her episode.
We did not earn first place, so it's okay.
She talked about it in her episode and how. Yeah, she was definitely.
Except for that last day, didn't she sleep through all of it?
We won when she slept.
So that was the problem with Molly.
We still won.
So the problem with Molly.
No, she
We
was.
still love Molly.
Yeah. Your funniest moment. Or do you have one? What about you? As a staff.
Oh, when it rained out.
there's
on us.
there's a lot. What were you gonna? I could pick a
When
lot.
it rained out on us during that basketball, me and Price were trying to get all the basketball stuff under,
Good giant basketballs.
yes. Oh yeah. We got soaked.
I would say. I mean, I personally just enjoyed the Good Morning Aiden show.
That was
And,
fire.
one of the funnier things was when Pastor Brenton got chased by people in rib costumes. That was pretty funny.
Didn't Andrew chase him and he was still in the crutches?
Andrew J. You? No.
Kevon and Jacob. Yeah. So Pastor Brenton apparently at a Memphis Grizzlies game one time got chased by somebody in a rib costume, like a meat costume. And so we were giving fun facts about all the pastors. And then we decided to bring out 4 dudes in rib costumes and go chase them down.
So that wasn't planned.
That was
ish. He didn't
yeah,
know.
that was oh, maybe the funniest moment. Not funny for Aiden Price, but so middle school camp, we are both with the understanding that we're both gonna get pied. So we've got the jackets on, the whatever, ponchos, and apparently when we were out there doing the show, so we did the show, the morning show with all the middle schoolers there, and then backstage were the pastors, and the pastors were supposed to come out and pie us. And so we had our meeting before, and they were like, okay, Slayton's gonna pie me, like Aiden Lindley, and then Pastor AJ is gonna pie Aiden Price. Well, they get out there, and Pastor AJ pies Aiden Price, and then Pastor Slayton takes his and also pies Aiden Price. And so, oh yeah, 100%. So apparently they decided while we were up there that Pastor Slayton was like, "Oh, this would be so funny if only Aiden Price got pied twice." And so, man, I was just surprised, ecstatic for sure. But I just stood up and I was like, praise the Lord, man. All the middle schoolers are like, "Ah!" Like,
That was so funny.
it was awesome.
I remember your reaction to that. That was hilarious. You could tell you didn't know.
Oh, I was shocked. But that was a good moment. Yeah. I think there was a moment too, just from the perspective of being on stage during the final, well, a couple times during Squad Wars, but during the final Squad Wars reveal, or not even that, but during Squad Wars, we would do volume competitions at middle school camp. And there was a couple moments where, where it gets so loud that you you don't hear it anymore. Like there was a few times at middle school camp that it got that loud because we would just say, "All right, purple squad, let's hear it," and then like they just scream. They don't care. The middle schoolers do not care. And so then you walk around. The result of this is you walk around on the last days of camp and everybody's talking like this, like they have no voice. And so that was also just funny to me. I looked at Aden when we were doing that, and I could not believe just how loud they were. It was ridiculous. It was awesome. They're loud for Jesus. So
they're just loud for Squad Wars. We'll never know. Let's hope it's the Jesus part.
Squad Wars points them to Jesus. 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, "Whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God." If you do Squad Wars, do it for the glory of God.
Big facts. But that's all I had. I just wanted to get you guys and talk about a little bit about your CBC student experience, unless you didn't have anything else.
No, I'm looking forward to. I mean, these guys are incredible, and it'll be good to have some of the other former students on as well.
And I'll just end by saying for you two, how proud I am of both of you guys. I mean, I feel like I've known you probably the shortest out of the group, but I can honestly say, like, to get to know you both, I feel like I've gotten so close to you guys, and to watch you guys grow from, you coming to CG and really kind of in and out, and then Jackson. I mean, I met you at the basketball game, and then you guys came up to me, I think the next midweek, because I didn't know who you guys were. I think Pastor Caleb had asked me if I had known y'all, and I said no. And then we took the picture together, and then I talked to y'all on the next midweek. But you and your brother are fantastic people, and I'm so proud of you, Jackson, and how far you've grown. And I look forward to watching both of you guys grow. I am excited that you guys are staying in San Antonio. That some of the others are leaving, and that's really hard. I think Leo leaves tomorrow. Tomorrow. Some of the girls are already gone too. I think Barrett had left already. He's already at school. And it's just really, it's exciting as a leader, but it's also sad because I mean, I know you can say this, like us as leaders build good relationships with these youngins. And I know Michaela can say that as well. She's on the other side of the camera, and she's involved in our ministry as well. But anyways, I'm so proud of you guys, and thank you guys for coming over here and sharing a little bit about your experience. I'm so glad that you guys said yes, and I'm excited to get this thing together and share it with the world. Cool. Anything else? Last words? Nothing? Cool.